I think they just calling it dinner. Just got me my main dish, my side dish.
Right.
You can't go without it.
I love that. I love that.
See?
Wow.
So that's the mindset. But I think a lot of these guys nowadays, a lot of them don't want to be in serious committed relationships. A lot of them want to play the field, want to get out there, sow some wild oats, as they'd say, go out there, mess around with a few ladies, pick from all the different variety of women out there and not really be tied down to just one.
This is the Shades podcast. This topic is going to be a really raunchy one. It's going to be an exciting one, a fun one. But today we will be talking about whether or not if men should be monogamous. And so the alternative is to be what? Polygamous. It's a very weird topic. It's kind of surprising that we've come as a society to now discuss on whether or not if men should be monogamous or promiscuous. But before I delve into it, you want to say a few words before we go?
Before we go?
Before we go?
Before we go into the thing. I thought he was about to close it out. Hey, we just getting started, but we're about to go ahead and end it. No, hello. I want to just introduce myself. Hello, Kyler. Hello.
My name is Ray.
It's the one and only Ray. Now,
you're not going to tell him your name?
Oh, my name. My name is Ariel. That is my name. All right, guys. So, monogamy versus polyamory. Now, my problem with this whole ordeal is that the word polyamorous means you are with someone and you say, hey, I want to have multiple girlfriends, or I want to love multiple people, as they say, which is so ironic.
Right.
And the person has to consent to it. Now, if you were to ask, let's say, the most typical modern man, which is, I want to go ahead and lead this off to Ray. What's the most typical modern man? And then we'll go ahead and go back to this point. What do you think the modern man, his view regarding how he should go about the dating market?
I believe that he thinks that he should just stick to one woman and find a good wife.
Okay. Now, the modern man, what do you think, like the typical... Yeah.
Well, they want multiple, I guess, girlfriend or hoes or etc.
Right.
They want to be around and surround themselves with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Same question here.
Now, so if we were to ask, right, the most typical modern man, if we were to say, hey, are you in a polygamous relationship? He's going to say no.
All right.
And then so there's a reason for it, because he's going to say, I'm not in a polygamous relationship because my main girl, she can't have other boyfriends or multiple people to love. But me, I can. So now we are coming into a society where it's not polygamy because his partner cannot have girlfriends. So I don't know what that is called. What they call it is an abundance mindset, right? They call it, I don't really know else what that is specifically is called. It's not polyamorous insofar as the definition of itself. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah.
I think they just calling it dinner. Just got me my main dish, my side dish.
Right.
You can't go without it.
I love that.
See?
Wow.
So that's the mindset. But I think a lot of these guys nowadays, a lot of them don't want to be in serious committed relationships. A lot of them want to play the field, want to get out there, sow some wild oats, as they'd say, go out there, mess around with a few ladies, pick from all the different variety of women out there and not really be tied down to just one,
Yeah. Well, there's arguments for why that is the case, why lots of men don't want to be tied down to one. Right? Could you give us an insight into that, why that may be the case?
A lot of the arguments are just guys simply saying how, the kings used to run their kingdoms and all that good stuff. And what are some other arguments that
I've heard too, some of the people that are in these polygamous relationships. Now, for those of you that don't know what polygamy is, it is dating multiple people, being in a marriage with multiple spouses. So it's basically having multiple girlfriends, multiple wives, all this stuff. Garbage. Pretty much for the most part. So those people, I've heard arguments where people are saying, well, the the ratio between men and women are so different nowadays. So it's only fair for the men to have multiple women because there's more women than men out there. So I've heard like the incarceration argument. We've got so many men that are locked up in prison. They behind bars. I might as well get his girl since he locked up. Let me get her. Wow. And then they've got the whole thing about like the homosexuals and everything like that. So it's so many that's turning around, and yes, we're being bold with it. We're not scared. It's those people that are going, straight, onto the opposite side, playing for the same field. And so, we're going to go ahead and take those.
Okay.
So that's out there.
One, it has been historic, or men have been doing it since the beginning of dawn, and then they'll even pinpoint to the Bible, say, hey, exactly, look at King Solomon. Yeah. Okay, scholar. And then, which was clearly wrong, and then there are more women than men, or lots of men are incarcerated, so therefore it's only right, or women, who else are they going to go ahead and be with? Let me, the top dog, go out to them. Right. Another one that I've heard, and let's go ahead and touch on this one. This one is very interesting. And it is innately, biologically hardwired within us to have multiple partners, because we as men are hardwired innately, biologically, to spread our seed amongst many beautiful women.
Yeah, I even see those arguments where people are like, man, like, the animals are like this. You look at any animal in the animal kingdom, and they've all got multiple people, and so they're trying to compare us to animals. Right. And so, like, back to your point too, where you were talking about like the Bible days, before sin entered into the picture, God's plan for marriage was between one man and one wife. It was between man and woman. I mean, and so it's supposed to be husband and wife. But then once sin entered into the picture, of course, then you started to see all types of those polygamous relationships.
And it's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like, so for humans, we are genetically wired for pair bonding, which would be the intimate relationship between one and one. And I feel like when you bring polygamy into it, you're simply just using the other person or people, I would say. And I say that because a lot of the things that I've seen, or the videos that I've saw and stuff like that, they just add them to the relationship just to like spice it up in a sexual way. So to me, your mind's already deprived, and you're just adding that extra person in just to fulfill your sexual desire. They'll
facade that, or they'll justify that by using the phrase, well, I have different needs.
Right.
And then it's just very, very dumb. But I kind of want to touch on the animal part really quickly. I believe gooses are the only animal that is with one person, and if one of them die, the animal who is alive doesn't mate with anyone else. So why can't we use gooses for as a example for us not to have multiple people? And then also I think it's a red hair fox or some type of breed of fox. They only mate with one of their kind. That's it. So why can't we use foxes or goose as an example? No. We'll go ahead and use chimpanzees as examples. Okay.
You know who's also for polygamy?
Who?
Dr. Umar.
Really?
Yeah. Dr. Umar said I need a soul food queen and a vegan queen. A soul food queen and a vegan queen. And brothers and sisters. That's what he says. Men are wired to have multiple ones. And then he refers to animal kingdom as well. That type of argument.
With that wiring thing, I'm so glad that we're not animals, and that we're not just atheists that just only go off of what our chemicals in the brain tells us to do, because we do in fact have free will. Regardless of any philosophy that you have read, I can choose to be committed with a woman, and I can go ahead and suppress that desire to go ahead and cheat on my wife and destroy the family. Thank God I have free will to do that. Or I can make the excuse saying, hey, it was biologically innate within me to go ahead and destroy the family and to break my wife's heart, or to break my main
Right.
girlfriend's heart, and my only girlfriend's
It
heart.
just seems like a really bad excuse, you know.
Yeah, and then even with that, there is this question that's being posed. It was, okay, Ariel, you said it. Within that sentence, you have to suppress your desires, right? You have to go ahead and tame yourself. So if you were to have the option, and let's say your religion wasn't involved with it, or if society didn't look down upon it, would you then want to have one main dish and then have lots of sides?
Right.
Absolutely, you would, Ariel. You know what? No, I wouldn't, because I have to say this on air, is that having sides, having, indulging into that disgustingness of right, that type of area in life, it's so unrewarding. It's insane. But whenever I was really with that one girl, unfortunately, right, she went on to live her life. It was absolutely amazing. It was insane. I'm like, wow. Like, I thought, having multiple people to fulfill my needs, whatever that means, sexual reasons,
Right.
was going to be better than just simply having one girl. And I think lots of men, they cannot comprehend that. And I want to go ahead and touch on this, kind of transition into this. The reason why I believe that lots of men, they don't want to be with one woman, one, because they're obviously scared of commitment. And then two, the concept of love to them is completely out the window. It's out the window.
All right. Everybody nowadays is being controlled by lust. Even one of the arguments that I was seeing for polygamy, a lot of those guys were saying, well, this is why you should be in a polygamous relationship, is because, say, for instance, your wife, she starts tripping, a little bit, and she needs, she needs to go cool off. You need a little break, blow off some steam. You can go to your other girl, go over to her house, go over there to see Samantha, and she may be in a good mood for you, So it's that type of thing.
Because you and your wife are in a disagreement, I'm gonna go ahead and have sex with another.
The majority of the arguments is simply lustful reasons.
What I'm seeing with it is that your mind's just wicked, and your mind is in the wrong place, and you have the wrong conception of what marriage is. It's supposed to be originated, it's supposed to be between one and one. But then when you bring polygamy and polygamous relationships and all that other stuff, I feel like you're just, like I said earlier, you're just using them. And a lot of dudes, well, mostly it would be, I'd say the woman mostly would like to add the other person for sexual desire. Of course, men could do that as well. But another argument for the man's perspective is the bearing of children. Well, if you're just bringing the woman in just to bear your children, then, ultimately you're still using them for your own personal good.
Right.
Of course, it's going to be y'all's child, but if you're just, pushing away the wife and just, hey, you just take care of my kid, I'm going to go somewhere else.
And then even, with that point, I was just about to go ahead and say that polygamous relationships, both people are selfish. Both people are only looking out for their own needs. That's why they continue to say that phrase without them even realizing that it is a narcissistic, psychotic thing, that they're going to go ahead and look out for people to satisfy their own needs. And that is psychotic. Right? Psychopaths, what do? They take advantage of people for their own good. Polygamous relationships and men who want to have one main dish and then all the rest of the sides. Kyler, I absolutely love that analogy. Thank you. Men who are into that stuff, you are selfish, and it is in fact quite psychopathic. You are using other sides for your own pleasure, and then your main one for your own pleasure, because she's an extremely submissive girl. She's not going to go out to the club, etc. Of course, I'm not endorsing for my main one to go out into the club. No, of course not. But that being said, this whole polygamous, okay, well, I'm not necessarily in a polyamorous relationship because my main one and my sides, they don't go out and talk to other men. They are all for me. I'm treated as a king. No. It's not a king mindset, right? It is a selfish, psychotic mindset. It really is. Point blank, period.
I feel that typically for those kind of relationships, there's always one person that brings it up to the other. Like, they never mutually agree at the same time. Like, hey, I was thinking this, you were thinking this, let's go ahead and do this. It's always one person that would want to open up the relationship. So what I see from it is that one person opens it up and the other one's kind of like, okay, I don't really want to lose you, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play and I'm gonna abide by your rules. I'm gonna go ahead and play your game. So you go and sleep with someone, and I'm gonna do it because you're doing it, right? Just because, and then that's how the whole jealousy and then emotions come into play, and then it just never really works. And plus, polygamous relationships, they're just like such like a low percentage. Like there's a small minority of people who do it, and the stuff that I was seeing or the results from it are terrible.
Yep,
it's terrible. I see like all these mental health issues and just like the husbands discriminating certain wives and stuff like that, and all this other BS. And it's just anybody with a slightly educated mind understands that monogamous relationships stabilize society a lot more than polygamy.
Yeah. You see, it's a lot of these guys that getting with these girls. They got multiple wives. Now you mad at both of them because it's both the time of the month. Well, man, they both moody right now. Right. They trying to fight me. I done had to get one off of me. Had to call the cops on the other. You know, it's just a whole bunch of fighting. It's a bunch of fighting and stuff going on in the household, man. It's a lot of stuff. They don't never really end that well. It's a bunch of bickering, a lot of different stuff going on. And because you're doing it out of order, when you don't do things God's way, of course, things are going to fall out of place.
Yeah. And then in order for any relationship to thrive, survive, and to increase its romance and love for one another, it requires work. Now, that work requires years and years of constantly going out on dates, right? Of y'all two checking in on each other, y'all two just working the relationship out so it can survive and thrive. Okay, now imagine with 4 other girls who are only there for my needs. How on earth is all of our relationships going to go ahead and survive and thrive? Because it doesn't. Over 90% of polygamous relationships end in, guess the magic word, failure.
You're a failure.
Failure. Simple, point blank, period. It's hard enough already to go ahead and survive, or not hard. It is good work, right? Because not all work is hard. And I think this generation needs to understand that not all work is a painful, right, thing that we have to do every single day. No. If you notice, lots of people who are happier or who are happiest most in life, they work a lot because they are working towards something. Now, if I'm working with my wife, and we continue to grow and grow and grow, that only happens because of work. But for me to go ahead and do this with all these other nasty women who are being ran through every other night or so, what? Right. I'm really going to go ahead and love them. No, you don't love them. You don't love them. You're only there for your needs. Again, psychopathy. It's psychotic.
Selfish desire.
Selfish. Yes.
What's like the ending goal for that relationship anyway? I don't get it.
And then too, a lot of them, I can only assume they don't have children involved.
Oh yeah, that's another thing is children. A lot of them, what I see or what I was reading is that a lot of like the parents like hide it from the kid until they like understand at a certain age. But then even then, like they'll tell them around like age 13. Right. But even then, it's just like, damn, like looking back, once a kid starts to realize and understand, like my parents were never really together.
Hey, just go in the room. That's just your uncle. That's just you ain't met him yet. You ain't met him yet.
How shallow my parents were. Like this is what they were doing this entire time. And now they're telling me. And I can only imagine what that's doing in a kid's head. Who doesn't know what's right or wrong from a relationship perspective.
Sex is just a need that needs to be fulfilled or quenched by other people.
This one lady was saying that when she had grew up in a household like that, and it was like very confusing, and there was just like a lot of issues and mental health things and a lot of like. She said there was like abuse in the household as well. I don't know if that a lot of that could stem from that. I'm not too sure. But
the wives were beating the men up. That's what was going on.
It's just a lot of mess and just confusion. Yeah. And they say monogamy is like a failed or like a failing, relationship system or something like that. It's like I don't get it.
It's Kyler, was giving me a look saying, hey, my turn. But man, this I noticed we are speaking of course we are speaking about polyamorous, right? and then the main dish and the sides. But let's go ahead and touch on monogamy, right? Because we can go ahead and talk about polyamorous and the red pill movement, or why that's just selfish, right? It's psychotic, and then sex, right, is completely miscrewed in how the way they operate in it. But let's talk about monogamy and why it is so important for our society, and why it is the only option that a real man, and a real man is what? A godly man. A real man is not someone who just makes all of this money. And no, we are not saying that money is not important. Money, it is extremely important. But if you are putting your self-worth in your money, in your muscles, in your looks, on how many women that you can acquire, that is not what a real man does. Because I kind of hate to say this, it's not quite difficult to, if you're attractive, to acquire many women, because that person didn't necessarily work for it, right? And let's say you were brought up rich. It wasn't hard for you to go ahead and become rich. Now, let's say you're at the bottom of the barrel, right? Yes, you would have to go ahead and work your way up to acquire those things in your life. But something that does require discipline and practice is being and having a relationship with God. That is a true man. And a true man commits with one wife, commits with one woman, raises up children for the next generation to come. It's serious.
Wow. Real men love Jesus.
Yes, absolutely.
And I stand on that. I'm standing on business.
Oh my gosh. All right, that's
That's a wrap.
Man, let's go ahead and turn it off. See y'all next episode.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately, we are in this wave of soft pornography and hardcore pornography. Soft pornography meaning you go out into the mall, there's this plenty of posters, and I'm not talking about the fat girl just in a bikini that you see in Target. No. That's not even considered soft.
The plus size.
That's not even considered soft for porn.
The Ava
I don't know what that
collection.
Is. But with that, so men, they probably feel as though and think as though, especially the younger men, saying, man, it seems that all of these beautiful women are around me, maybe I am worth something, and my status will increase to other men and to society if I go ahead and acquire them. But in order to do that, I need to enhance myself financially and physically.
Right. When you think about it, they're stemming their value from the women that they acquire, just like you were saying a few seconds ago. When you're putting your pride and value into your money, and you're going out and getting on these girls with it, and you're thinking, you're hot stuff, they're falling in love with the things that you can provide materialistically for them. It's it's not you yourself. If you didn't have the money, all those women are flocking and leaving. They didn't fall in love with your personality. They fall in love with all the money, the cars, all the Birkins, and you tricks.
Yes.
all the stuff that you're buying them. They fell in love with that stuff, not you.
Yeah, man. It's so bad.
I'm still laughing at the plus size thing.
Oh yeah.
Now, shout out to my boy Shannon Sharp, because he said that if she ain't 180, she not a lady.
Oh, what? My Lord.
He said if she 203, bring her to me.
Of course he'll say that. Of course, Shannon's a huge dude, man.
He's shit, bro. Still, he's like 50 something.
Imagine this. Let's say you work for years to go in and to increase your financial status and your physical appearance. Now you have these women flocking to you. Wow, I am successful in the game. I am successful in the dating market. And then you kind of take a step back. You're like, do these women really like me? And then you turn your head, you say, man, that is a religious couple, and they've been, together for 20 years? Even though that man doesn't have more money than me, and even he isn't stronger than me? No, I'm not saying that religious men typically are weaker and less financially stable. In fact, married men make more money than men who are not married. Check it up. Go ahead, it's true. But you start to see that couple, you're like, wow, they are really in love with each other for who they are, right? So that is the basis of marriages. You have to go ahead and marry each other, of course, one, because y'all guys love each other for who y'all guys are, and that only comes from values, right? Y'all need to agree on values. But the whole red pill movement, the whole polyamorous movement, it is shallow internally because y'all guys are only meeting off each other off of attraction. That's it. What needs do you have that need to be desired? This girl's gonna go ahead and is funny. This girl over here,
she's better at cleaning the dishes on this side.
I don't.
She can clean my room better. So, that's all I was seeing.
It's very
in my comments. That's all I see. Yeah, not every person.
Everybody got different gifts and talents.
Like, bro, get out of here. It's corny as hell.
Very corny. Very corny.
So it's basically based off of lust instead of love. I think even so 100%. More that it's something
I would agree.
deep down inside that person is truly looking for. Some emptiness on the inside of him or her that he's constantly trying to go from each woman to this woman to that woman because there's something deep down inside that needs to be possibly needs to be checked out. You know.
Okay. I want to say some last words from my side. I feel like with those type of relationships, it's just for your own selfish desire. Like we've been saying this past 20 minutes, it's just for you yourself. Whether it's a sexual desire or you're just using the woman to bear children, those are the only true real reasons that I've seen that people are wanting to get in these relationships typically.
Yep. You wanna close off?
If she ain't 180, she ain't a lady. That's
oh my Lord.
That's all I got to say.
You know, if y'all guys disagree, what we're gonna start doing, new idea alert. Well, we were gonna start doing it. We're gonna have a number that y'all guys can call. We'll go ahead and pick it up, and if y'all guys want to go ahead and discuss this on air, we more have not edited, not nothing. We'll even do it live, absolutely, because not that I get so offended off the comments that we see, but it seems as though that we have to take your hand and explain every single thing of what we mean.
Damn dog.
Yes. Like, this is what we mean. Okay, you understand that? Okay, good. Now let's move on to the second point. You understand that? Okay, let's go back over here and explain it to you again.
It's just like burping a baby.
Yeah.
we just fed you. Now we got to sit and pat you on the back, man.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay, now you got it.
For those of you who legitimately have questions, that's amazing. But we are, kind of making fun of those who are trying to insult us, right, and calling us stupid. Please go ahead and answer us, right? I mean, go ahead and call us. Please do. Okay. Now, but that being said, Merry Christmas, guys. It is an amazing holiday. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I know lots of you, have problems at home, but just keep in mind that Jesus, was born into this world, but that's for another topic.
Jesus is the reason.
You're going to get questioned on the Bible now, bro. Don't do that.
Be happy about that.
You're going to get questioned on the Bible.
So be it.
Hey, and just remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. I don't even know if this will be out. Christmas. Will this be out before Christmas? No, if you're seeing this after,
you'll see this New Year.
We hope you had a great Christmas.
We hope you had a great Christmas. Seriously. Yep.
All right. And that's a wrap.
God bless.